Well, okay then. We have gone back downstairs. There we go. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode here on the Shamblecraft server. And you join me here at the now finished Pride Park because I want to start this episode with a couple of charity updates. So, a little while ago, we finished Pride Park, so you can now see the finished gateway saying Shamblecraft welcomes you to Pride Park, and over here is a sign saying how we successfully raised a total of $1,300 for the Trevor Project. And that's right, as this charity event came to an end, we had raised $1,300. So thank you very, very much to everyone who donated. $1,300 for the Trevor Project is going to really, really help them with their work. So thank you once again, everyone who donated. And I've already sort of given you a tour of most of this place, so I figured I would just quickly walk through it and show you how the finished park looks. And we're also going to talk some more charity. So here you can see we have put in a bunch of azalea trees. We have done a bunch of terraforming. We've added paths. This is now a much more cohesive park and not just a collection of some individual builds. So as you can see, we have all the things that I showed you previously, but we also now have a lot of other stuff added. The main one, of course, being this massive Trevor Project pixel art in the background here that was done by Johnny during our final live stream for the event. So that is it for Pride Park for now. We will definitely be coming back to this place later, hopefully during the final server tour, and also when Season 1 ends, you will be able to enjoy this place in the world download. So thank you very, very much once again to everyone who donated. And yeah, we couldn't have done this without you. And both for me, for the rest of the Shamblecraft staff, and for the Trevor Project, I can only say thank you. So many thousand thanks for all the support you've given us for this campaign. But as we make our way over here, Pride Park isn't the only project we've been working on, because while I'm going to actually put my armor back on, while I fly back, I want to tell you about some of the other projects that we've been working on. So as I make my way back through the nether here, in addition to Shamble Pride and Pride Park, we have had the good fortune of taking part in two other charity events. And that is, first of all, we were, well, some of us at least, were lucky enough to be invited to a charity event called Draw for Charity, where we played Among Us with a lot of other Minecraft YouTubers. And from the Shamblecraft community, you had me, NJ, and Joe. Joe, of course, better known for his for being a hermit, and not that known for being a infrequent player of the Shamblecraft universe as well. But there was a bunch of really cool people helping out. You had me, NJ, Joe was there. We had the two newest hermits, actually, Pearlescent Moon and Gemini Tay. Pastability, who is the sort of the chief of the project, and a bunch of other people. Music Man was there. I'm probably forgetting someone. Hopefully there's some clips on screen from that. It was really, really fun. So thank you very, very much, Pasta and the Draw for Charity team, for allowing me and NJ to take part in it. But yeah, in addition to this, recently, a bunch of us got to take part in a very special UHC arranged by Casa Nirvana, where we were raising money for the UK-based charity Mind. and we got to take part in a special UHC, a 4-man team representing Shamblecraft, consisting of me, NJ, Sammy, and Jessica. We're quite happy with how it went. We didn't win, but we did very, very good. Very happy with how it turned out, and hopefully there should be a video covering that out in not too long. The entire thing was recorded from several camera angles, so hopefully that video should be with you in not too long as well. And in total, a lot of money has been raised. As I said earlier, $1,300 for Pride Park. The draw for charity event actually ended up raising a whopping $12,000 for Child's Play, and yesterday almost £2,000 for the UK-based charity Mind by Casa Nirvana. So thank you very much to everyone in the Shamblecraft community who has helped out in one way or another. It is amazing to see what communities can do when they come together like that, and I think we can all be very proud that we have been able to help out. But we will definitely be back. We have some charity plans for the fall, so hopefully there should be a couple of more charity events in not too long. But that is enough on the charity update from me. Today we have two things I really want to tackle. I'm not sure we're going to have time to do both, but I'm hoping we at least have time to get a lot of it done. So you might remember this place from the last episode, where we started working on what is going to be a massive glass box, where we hopefully we're hopefully gonna make a somewhat functioning guardian farm. And if I can make my way through, that went well. Close enough. So last time we made these water elevators to bring us up top here, and here you can see that we got a lot of work done on the glass box surrounding this place. And what we're going to be doing today is hopefully getting more work done. We still have a bunch of glass left, so I really need to turn off auto jump. There we go. It's a problem every time you change game versions, the controllers reset, and it is very annoying. Yes, so step one, we need to work on this glass box, and I really want to get at least the outer perimeter of this glass box done today. And now we got very lucky. We actually got last time, I think I put them in my ender chest, we got a bunch of sponges from Mykonos. Yeah, here they are. So with those, we should be able to siphon away the water once we've divided it into quadrants. So yeah, that is pretty much what we need to do. Finish the glass walls around it, start dividing it up using sand, and then use the sponges to gradually take away the water. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna get cracking on that, and I'll keep you posted. Did this guardian seriously just finished recording a segment and I hear an animal flapping about? Did that guardian seriously take the elevator? Can you fit in there? I'm genuinely... I want to see now if that will... Does any one of you want to try and get the elevator, please? Well, okay then. We have gone back downstairs. There we go. We have gone back downstairs to get some more shulker boxes because we are ready to start the next part. So, the 4 walls are now pretty much finished, and we had 3 glass to spare with what I'd already brought up, so lucky there. The next step now is to work on the sand which I'm going to try and explain what I mean. Those of you who have done Guardian Temples before, you will know how this works. So basically, what I'm going to do now, this is extra because of the way I'm doing it. I'm going to put a border of sand on top of this wall. The reason for that is that I don't, as I said in the previous episode, this is going to be a glass box that has a thin layer of water above it, because Guardians won't be able to spawn when it's only a one block of water. But when I'm drying this out, I do need to put a border of sand around it so that we don't have water pouring in as we're drying it out. And what we're going to do then, we're going to divide it into quadrants using sand. And once that has been done, we can use the sponges to dry out the various areas. So I've brought some more glass just in case. I think I'm going to keep one shulker box of sand on me. Are both of those full? Alright, 2 shulker boxes of sand then. And I'm also going to fill my inventory up with sand just to make sure we have what we need. And yeah, basically now, just head over to the wall here and start making this border so we don't have water. Dang it, there we go. So we don't have water flowing in as we're doing this. And also, it's going to be interesting to see if I can pull this off without dying 7 billion times because of the Guardians. As you can see here, I have... yeah, you can't really see it because of all the admin spam. But I think I've died since I started doing this 2 hours ago. I think I've already died like 9 or 10 times. So that is the issue of dealing with Guardians, is that they will kill you. Especially right now because I'm getting all the spawns straight for me. And that was the same issue that we had when we were doing Simon's. But anyway, that is enough rambling from me. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get back to you once we've gotten some more work done. Well, okay then, viewers. A couple of hours of work has passed, and as you can see, we have gotten a lot done. We now actually have all the sand in one of the directions in. So what we need to do now, we need to make the lines going the other way to split this into smaller rectangles where we can use the sponges to get the water away. In addition to that, in order to make it a bit easier for myself, as you probably saw in that previous clip, there was an issue of Guardians getting into the house here through the elevators. So what I've also done is I have now plugged this section here. You can see there's... I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, and I left a couple of sponges actually. Let me just pick these up. I have now drained this area and tried my best to finish this tunnel so that we now can get safely into the temple itself, because that was a bit of an issue, being able to get in and out of here without having to go through a heck of a lot of Guardians. But yeah, the elevators are working, we've taken care of that, and if I go into the air, you will see that this has now been split into nice long sections that are going to be split into smaller squares that are easier for me to drain. So that is basically the next part. Put all the other lines in, horizontal or vertical depending on how you look on it, and once that is done, we should be ready to start draining the water, and hopefully this should make our little Guardian farm work a bit better. Well, okay viewers, you join me here at the Guardian farm, where I am still working. It's been a couple of hours, it's actually now the next day, but as you can see, we have made a lot of progress, and I thought I would just give you a little glimpse into the work that goes into this, given that I don't have a time lapse this time. So since last time we've had one fairly neat upgrade, and if I duck down into the water you'll see what. We now have a conduit set up courtesy of Myknus, and that is actually really helpful because it means I can now sort of stay a little more hidden and protected underwater without having to worry about going up for air all the time. So having the conduit is actually very, very helpful. And what I'm currently doing, I am dividing the entire farm area or the entire temple area into squares, and the reason for this is to make it easier for me to drain, because as I said in a previous clip, in order to make this function the way I want, we're going to have to drain away all the surrounding water so we can limit the spawnable area for the guardians. And I'm actually going to do some testing at hopefully in this episode, maybe in the next one, by removing a bunch of water except for the square where I made that little drop chute last time, because that drop chute through coincidence and luck actually lined up pretty perfectly with one of them. It should be around here somewhere. I think it's one of them. So one of these actually lines up pretty well. Some of these squares I'm actually lucky with, like this one. You can see there's actually no guardians here, and I'm actually thinking about keeping this underwater section, and the reason for that is that guardians only spawn, if I'm not mistaken, they only spawn from this level here and up. So with some luck I can keep the area underneath the temple and use as some sort of I don't know, aquarium maybe. But then again, I could be wrong. We see you have one there, but he could have swam down, I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this project turns out when it's all done. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I'm placing a whole bunch of sand, and it is taking its sweet time. I've actually spent a lot of time just watching television shows on my other monitor while doing this. It is literally the only thing you can do doing this sort of idle work. I'm very glad I'm on holiday. And while I'm doing this, let me talk actually a little bit about this. So you might remember, some of you, that a while ago I put out a tweet saying that I would be sort of making a grand return in July, and I would be back to creating videos, and I would be back to creating streams and whatnot. And some of you might have noticed that, hey Fally, you're not streaming. But there is a very simple reason for that. I'm not going to make any excuses. It's just a very simple fact of the matter, is that once I finally completed my thesis, I noticed that I was feeling very worn out. Probably due to the fact that I have been, over the last 2 years, working a full-time job as a teacher, which is a very stressful job with lots of grading, lots of responsibility. I've also been the head teacher for a class with some other bonus responsibilities as a result of COVID. And in addition to all of this, I have been a full-time student. I've been doing, that's something that a lot of people didn't know. I've actually been doing my master's study full-time while working full-time. And a lot of people have sort of spoken to me like, Fally, why are you doing this? That's madness. And yes, it is absolute sheer and utter madness, and I will never be doing it again. And I was always thinking that, oh, the second my thesis is done, and the second I've defended my thesis, it's going to be like, oh, the weight's off my shoulders, I can get back to doing everything. But what I've noticed is that once I finished my thesis, and once I finished defending my thesis, I almost felt like all the air just went out of me. Like I just felt drained. I felt like I had absolutely no energy left in my entire body. And I was talking to a friend of mine who also did a master's thesis not too long ago, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, what you're suffering from post thesis burnout." And like, oh, that just sounded like a jokey thing. It's like, no, it's actually a serious thing. It's actually something there's been papers written about. And what they say is, when you're working on a degree, especially like a master's degree or a what's it called, a doctorate, PhD, and when you're working on these sort of things, you constantly focus on the thesis, and you constantly focus on how you can sort of improve your thesis and improve your work and improve your research and everything, so much that when you finally do finish it, you are just completely and utterly drained from not thinking about anything other than that thesis for a prolonged period of time. And I read an article about it that she sent me, and it was quite interesting to see how much it lined up with what I was experiencing. So I decided what I was going to do. I was just going to take some time off, and I've been doing that. I've had a solid 3-week holiday now. It is now, as I'm recording this, it is July 19th, and I've just started my 4th holiday week, and I am now finally starting to get back into it. For the longest time, just the thought of recording and streaming was just completely draining me, and I'm very glad to say that this looks like it's finally improving. And you don't know this yet, of course, because you're going to be seeing this in an episode in hindsight, but I am actually planning on streaming tonight, and that should hopefully be a good stream. I actually plan on spending some time placing sand and hopefully finishing this place, maybe getting some draining done, and overall, yeah, getting back into the shape of things, because I still, even though I at times feel like it is completely pointless, I still have a desire to do good on this channel. I'm hoping to. It's like I've said so many times on stream. I'm not doing this because I want to be the next big thing. I'm doing this because at least 99% of the time I love making videos and I love streaming, and I just want to sort of get back into that love of creating content that I feel I've sort of been robbed of during this thesis push. And yeah, that sound is terrible. Anyway, that is enough rambling from me. I'm going to keep placing sand. And hope my armor doesn't break. And yeah, I'm gonna get back to you once we've done some more work. And finally, viewers, the last little wall. Putting them down there. If you're wondering why aren't you covering up underneath here, and that's because, as I said previously, I don't think Guardians spawn that low, and I actually have a separate plan for the area down there, so I'm going to get back to that later. But right now, all that remains is to put in the last few pieces of sand. Are you kidding me? Do I really have... Am I really missing 3 sand? 2. Oh, I have a special shulker on me. Goody good. There we go. Okay, that means if we take to the skies, that we actually have all the quadrants filled with sand and ready to be drained. and that is a project we're going to be getting back to in a little bit, because right now I'm thinking it's time we take a little break from this this Guardian farm here, and well, Guardian Temple, and yeah, what we really need to do, we need to head over and revisit a project that remains unfinished, but that I really want to get done in this episode. Well, okay then, so we are heading over to a location we have been before, and a project that remains unfinished, despite Mechanus reminding us that it has been almost a full year. And yeah, this has been quite a project, of which we got a lot done during spring, but where we still have the final bits to go, and that is the massive terraforming project that is this cave. And it is something that I really want to get done before too much time passes. So just to sort of bring you up to speed, for those of you who haven't seen the previous episodes or been here in a while, this is, I think Mechanus just refers to it as a throne room or something. I honestly don't know exactly what plans he wants, but he wants it to look like a cave. So in a previous episode, we placed 7 layers, well, alternating layers of black stained glass on the bottom, along with black concrete along the sides, to give the impression of an endless void. And since then, I've also drawn in some base shapes for mountains, and what we're going to do now, we're going to try and make this look at least somewhat like a cavern. And yeah, this is the point where I really wish I had replay mod ready. Actually, I did consider postponing this project until I had replay mod again, but I really don't want to wait any longer with this project. I've sort of reached the point where I want to get all the big projects gone, so that I can actually focus on enjoying the game. So this, along with another project I'm doing for Johnny, will actually be the last 2 terraforming jobs I do. Once these 2 are done, I will be closing down the terraform shop, simply because I've noticed that the terraform jobs are just, they're too big. I am overestimating how much I can get done, and they sort of end up just nagging in the back of my head. But this is a project I really want to get done. This is a project I think is going to look very cool once it's done. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this these shulker boxes of materials that I left previously, get some scaffolding, and yeah, I'm going to start terraforming this cave, and we'll see how it turns out. Well, alrighty then, viewers, a couple of hours have passed, and we have gotten actually a surprising amount of work done. And once again, I've forgotten to light things up, so I am starting to run low on materials, so I need to pick up some more. That's why I'm decided I might as well record a little section. But what I've done now, I've made some sections that I've started working on. I've been focusing pretty much on this corner right here because I have an idea for it. But I've also extended sort of the borders that I was talking about to not only cover the bottom bits, but I've tried to put some up in the middle to sort of give me a slight idea on what direction to build in. But I sort of got carried away with this corner because I have a very specific idea for this corner here, and that is I want to make a little sort of island up there with a waterfall coming down here and disappearing into the ground. So right now I've sort of made up the general shape. You can see I've made a little carve in there where the waterfall is going to be, and on top there I want to put some grass, some trees, maybe even some azaleas and some moss, just to sort of... what I want to do, I want this to not just be a chasm, but sort of to have some life in it, and Mick has given me pretty much creative freedom here. So hopefully I can manage to do something cool up there. And I might try to sort of make it like almost like it's a cave, like cover it up from the top and just have a little entrance there, so that will be a little Easter egg that you can sort of enter into the cave there. Don't really know what to do with all of it. I'm thinking what I want to do now is just get the base shapes out, sort of have the base shape of the cave, and then I'll try to do some detailing. I didn't intend to turn this into a church, but you know how these things turn out. You can make a religion out of this. And yeah, so next plan, try and get this corner finished. Also try and get the border. You can see I haven't done the border for this corner here yet, so that's also something that needs to be done. And then I basically just need to draw out the ideas for how I want this to look. But a lot of progress has been made. We've gotten a lot further than anticipated in a short time here. So yeah, just a little update there since we don't have time lapses. And yeah, I'm gonna keep you posted as to how this goes. Well, okay then viewers, as we make our way down to the floor, you will see that if we turn our camera to this side here, the north side, not much has happened. We're still on the outlines and stuff, but behold, on this side we have gotten a lot of work done. Go away. So what I've basically done, I've taken some of the ideas I had in the previous clip of making a shelf, and I have continued with that idea going all the way around. So you have the pillar there that we just looked at, and you now have this shelf running around the entire southern side of this cave. And what I've actually done, I've kept some of the things that are naturally generated. Like for instance, you see here we have a cave that was naturally generated that I decided to just integrate. Go away. I just decided to integrate into the project rather than remove it and just making it all flat. So as you can tell, the idea of this, how this place is going to look, is continuously evolving. As I told Mix in chat not too long ago, when I started doing this, I didn't really have any ideas, but as we're working on this, I'm getting more and more of a feel of how I want this to look and an idea of how I want this to turn out. So heading up here to the high ground, you can sort of get a feel for how this is turning out with the shelves here, and hopefully this is gonna end up looking pretty good once we're done, even though it is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. It's actually been a year now since Mick made the order. There he is actually having a look at it. But yeah, finishing it is going to have to be something we do in the next episode, because we're already running very long here. But we've gotten a lot of work done. So yeah, all that remains for me is to say thank you very, very much for watching this episode of Shamblecraft. And thank you very, very much for helping me hit 200 subscribers. That's right, just before I started editing and recording this episode, I hit 200. Much of it thanks to an amazing raid from Joe last night, which really gave my channel and the server a good boost. So thank you very much, Joe, and a happy belated birthday to Joe once again. But yeah, that's enough rambling from me. I'm going to see if I can squeeze out something special as a 200 subscriber special. But for now, all that remains for me is to say thank you very much for watching this episode of Shamblecraft, and yeah, bye-bye.